of youth and sport legend. One time, Mother Barrow Savior, I Barrow man, my older brother, you were Barrow man. So we used to wrestle when you go in on the field, say, okay, see, you're not Barrow man, you're not riding with my car. Like, okay, go, I will get I will go any kind of way. Okay, Honorable Minister, good evening. Thank you so much for accepting our invite to be here with us this evening on the Liberia Public Radio. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Alfonso, for having me, and I'm glad to be on your show. I hope your listener are hearing me.
Yeah, loud and clear. The audio is perfect. Folks, just hit the ear. From what I see, the audio is everything. Curtis and all of those, Mr. Washington and all of our good friends, thank you so much for sharing here. Okay, first of all, I want to say thank you for always making yourself available to have these consequential, they are sometimes toxic conversation, but leaders, that's part of you guys' assignment. Okay, let's start off here. The year is coming to a closure here. Let's get a little bit run through of the Ministry of Youth and Sport. What is the status of the ministry, the youth sections, building youth capacity, and all of that? What can you boast, or what can the ministry boast of? I honor your watch as the year comes to a closure.
Well, thank you very much. Um, I think the Ministry of Youth and Sports, with the team that the president assembled around me, meaning my colleagues who are appointed, coupled with the able and dedicated staff we have continued to do our best to make sure that we can empower our young people, be it through capacity building, be it through other career development, as well as some short-term job availability. We've been doing our best. For this year, in 2018, President Weah visited France and met Macron. Out of that visit came the program called Liberia Entrepreneurship and Employment Program, LEAP. It was being instituted in three counties, Grand Bassa, Margibi, and Montserrat counties. The program was initially intended to empower 11,000 youth in the three counties. And at the end of the 3 years that ended July 31st this year, that program was able to empower a little over 13,000 young people in various career developments. Small businesses as well were established. Were able to reactivate the National Youth Service Program, where we recruited college graduates in the area of agriculture, education, and health. And after the recruitment and training, the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Agriculture, and the Ministry of Education were able to place these students for 10 months in the three counties, where they were making a little over $250 as transportation allowances. We're also able on this program to reactivate the youth on the job training. The youth on the job training is primarily for our young brothers and sisters who are illiterate or semi-illiterate. We place them with master trainer. They learn various trades of their choice. We provided them toolkits. Those that graduated, they were able to at least get their own little shop. Some will be with a master trainer. And the rest of the folks, there was a program, Sports for Change program, that empower over 2,300 young people in the three counties. And the rest of the folks got training in business development skills. Some of them got funds to do small business and what have you. So that's for the lead for this year. And we are thankful that at least the president visit in 2018 did not go in vain. A program was created and empower a little over 13,000 young people in the three counties. The first set of money that came. The second set of money, the second set from that trip is a $10 million. Currently, it's in the TVET sector. with a French NGO called RECD, and they are engaged in curriculum development. They are also engaged in the electricity sector, and they will be assisting with our mini hotel that will be constructed at the SKD Sports Complex on the youth browsing project. But during the coordination, they will be able to furnish and equip the the hotel, because that would be a center for practicum for our young girls, because the BBOTC, one of our vocational schools, is a predominantly girls' school. And so they will be using that mini hotel for their practicum as well as income generation for the school. Also, this year, we were able to launch a program on January 24th by the president called Realize, the recovery of economic activities for Liberia informal sector employment. The acronym is Realize, and that project is a COVID intervention project. Due to COVID, there were many businesses, small businesses that got affected. So we developed the program with the World Bank. The World Bank funded the program, 10 million loan and 10 million grant. And it's for 3 years to empower 19,000 persons in Greater Monrovia. So to date, that program is up and running. We are recruited. There are two components for that program. One of the components, the labor intensive public works, is currently being run in 25 communities, and 2,500 young people were recruited. They are currently working. They are getting paid. The small business component, but 1,300, I believe, and 20 young people who currently have businesses have been empowered. And after 5 months, we'll go to the next batch, but it will be implemented in 150 communities within Greater Monrovia. That's another
Okay.
program that we are running right now.
Okay.
I guess I will stop on that because I don't want
Yeah.
to give more information and confuse you.
Yeah. No, not really. But just to let you know, for us here, we do it differently here on
Okay.
LPR. We allow people to tell their story, and we hold them accountable to their story. And
Yep.
our analysts, after a ton of exclusive with you, our contributors, analysts, they are standing by, they are monitoring, they're going to be coming. We know we're in a toxic environment, so we want to be respectful to our guests. Whether we agree with the policy or disagree, we want to have a conversation to get a clear line of what is going on so that they can be held accountable. Okay. Uh, Good, all of these things happening here. But let's have a little bit of conversation here. The program initially intended for 11,000 and gone to 13,000. So it means you are over the benchmark, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what are those counties? How are you talking about three counties? What are the three counties?
Montserrado, Margibi, and Grand Bassa.
Maserati, how were these three counties out of the 15, how these three were targeted? So what was the situation involved to prioritize the three? Was there any specific role, Mr. Minister?
Well, we work along with our partner Mercy Corps that have been in Liberia for a long time, and we did some baseline survey that showed that these three counties, for what we wanted to do, were the first three counties most counted needed to be able to implement this program. And that's how we selected the three counties to implement the project that also included the National Youth Service and the Youth on the Job training, in addition to training some small and medium business enterprises, providing some seed funding for them to be able to do their own businesses. And so we jointly did with the government and Mercy Corps, along with the French government, the French agency, I call it the agency for the French, I'm sorry, the AFD, to I say, is the French NGO. They were never in Liberia before, and but they were able to select Mercy Corps to implement their program, along with the Ministry of Youth and Sports. because they did some work with Mexico, I believe, in Tunisia. And so they knew Mexico, and the fact that AFD was not in Liberia at the time. Now they are in Liberia. And so Mexico was selected as an implementing partner with Youth and Sports. And they were able to successfully implement this program at the end of July 31st this year.
So, Monserrato Mangibi Grandbasso, someone that is listening in Sino, who is in Cape Mount, who is in Bon, who is in Grangide, they are wondering when will this reach us? Are there plans for the expansions of such a program if it has been successful in your work in those three counties? What becomes of those rest of the counties? Are there plans to expand the program?
Well, the way that we operate our development partners is that if we brought a program to three counties now, this program, and another development partner wants to come in, we try to look at other counties. For the identical program, these three counties were selected and the program has ended. If for any reason there's a need, say the French government decided that it wants to continue this program, then we will look at other counties. But we are also carrying other programs in other counties that are doing similar things. I was telling you about Realize. Realize that I told you about is in Greater Monrovia now. Right now, as we speak, we have gotten additional financing in the amount of 7.7 million from the French government, about 9.9 million US dollars. And that will be extended into 11 other counties. And Sino is one of those counties that it will go to, since it calls Sino need. Crazy. The only county that the project will not reach is Maryland.
Why?
Because there's another NGO that is engaged in some cash transfer in Maryland, and I believe it's in the amount of $300 United States per family, and that is huge. So we can't carry another intervention there again, since there is an intervention. So look at other counties that don't have the intervention. We're doing our best to cover all the counties, make sure that whatever program we implement, we'll be able to cover all the counties.
Yeah, we try to go much deeper into conversation here to give our audience the clarity of what is happening, and sometimes questions are a little bit might be over the edge, but you are at liberty if you want to plead the fifth on any question here, which of course I'm sure that's not going to happen here. The beneficiaries of these programs, be it outside of Monrovia and other places, there are people that are existing that we can see, we can know. Is there anywhere that people can go and say, hey, look at the listing, look at the records of people who are maybe beneficiaries of this program? Is there anywhere that we can reference and find those things?
Yeah, absolutely. If you visit our youth centers in Buchanan and Margibi, you will get the listing of all those that were on the LEAP project in Margibi and in Grand Basso. Mercy Corps office has that listing as well as the Ministry of Youth and Sports. So these are real people.
Is there a public record? Is it a public record?
Well, it is public. Just that we are not putting it on any website, but our various offices. And if you need to have access to them, we can make them available because they're not secret. These are people who benefited from a program, a project, and the public need to know. If a journalist want to come and access to know all of those that were on the program, yes, we can make that record available.
Hopefully we can get, and maybe for the rest here, Eugene Harris, who know they are in the US, they are in other parts of the world. Okay, this is what I'm hearing. This seems to be good, but how do I validate this? And then that you're going to come here and make up any story. So are there plans to have them maybe, because this, I believe, is under the supervision of your ministry, correct, with other agency or other business partners?
Yeah, ministry and Mercy are as well as the French Development Agency, because the French Development Agency The money came from the French government. The French Development Agency is the agency responsible to implement the French any intervention the government of France is having in a country. That funding go through the French Development Agency. And for the first time, they are opening an office in Liberia, and they are in Liberia, and they also have access to the information because they follow their money. The French embassy as well. So trust me, these are real people.
Are there plans to have that, get it out there to the Liberian people, whether on the Ministry of Youth website or somewhere where people will go and find this information? Are there plans to do that?
Well, we are not planning on doing that. You just brought a question up, but I think there's something I can discuss with my IT department and see whether they can put the beneficiary list up for those that
Okay,
were
but
on the
maybe
program.
LPR is willing. We do have a website. In as much you want to be critical on the government, it's also fair when there are progress made in certain places or people benefited. We also want to discuss the issue. We don't just want to say, okay, there's a fire on the house here today in this quarter. This quarter is burning down, and that should be only the news. I think that is unfair, and that's one of the
Yeah,
reasons
we can also do that. We can also provide you some of the beneficiaries if you want to talk to them. So you talk to
we
them
will be
yourself and hear from them. Yes, sir.
but we'll be glad to do that. Now, all of us, I'm hearing the French government and other business partner. Is GOL also investing in, because after all, it is our citizen will be the direct beneficiary. Is the government of Liberia is investing into these programs? And how much are they, for example, putting in there?
Well, the government has its own program that we are running called the TESI, meaning it's an acronym for the Temporary Employment of Community Youth. We used to run a business in Waterway before, but we terminated our program because of all of the issues we have with it, and then we developed a new program called TESI. This budget year was the first year we implemented that program, where we're able to recruit, I believe, 1,194 young people within Monrovia to do cleaning around in and around the city. And so that is a government-run program, and government allotted 1 million for that project, and it went on successfully. And we are hoping to continue. It is not a whole year project. We do it for between 6, 7, 8 months. This one we ran it for 8 months, and then we hope that the next budget year we'll be able to run it again because funding are given every budget year. That's a government who run program. We also have the literacy program that we run, where we train mothers, fathers, marketers, literacy skills. Some of them can read and write, and they go through the program. I believe the last graduate, we graduated a little over 130 of them in the Johnsonville area. So that is a government-run program. And we have the cadet program that we run as well. The cadet, we recruit college graduates and prospective graduates. They go through a competitive process of recruitment. And then the number we want, we put them at various government ministries, agency, the private sector. They go there for 3 months. Thankfully, this year, UNDP were able to make available some funding for us that will have 75 of our cadets. Right now, they are ongoing job training at various ministries, agencies, and in the private sector as well. So these are some of the things that we do.
All of these sort of people being so basic in what I'm wondering. So, sometimes you look on the social media, the young people, and I know Liberia is not a place where you're going to seize people liberties. What time those people have that we see them nearly every other time, either demonstrations, no work, no days, in major rallies? What time do they have to do to have this sort of engagement and capacity building? Is the ministry monitoring these people because capital is being spent on them? And if I'm beneficiary and I'm not doing that, I am not focused, probably there are others there who should be recruited to be benefited to get focused? Is there any sort of monitoring system?
Well, I can tell you, Alfonso, that the young people who have enrolled in our programs are not the ones you see other demonstrating. Uh, there are other young people who may be idle, got nothing too much to do. Politicians take advantage of that and they get in the street. But those that are in our program, like the BG and other were here example, yes, we had I think one or two demonstrations on our regime, and that was only because of non-payment of their salary for the month they worked. But other than that, the young people in our program, they are not engaged in these demonstrations, leaving what they're supposed to do. No, like the cadet, wherever they are assigned, they are there. They get daily attendance. They do their work because they are assigned to various businesses and what have you. Those on the TESI program, they're in various communities where they go to work 3 hours a day, 3 days a week, and we take attendance of all of them. Even those under the lead program that were into our program were lead. Those are people that were doing that job. They were not leaving it to do something else because they're being monitored. And, they have to report every day. And, so for those that are enrolling our program, they're not leaving the program to go in the street to demonstrate. No, they are not. And they are well monitored.
Okay, I'm going to be bringing in my analysts in a little bit here after a few conversations, and they will be allowed to ask questions, also to form part of the uh, conversation as well. Now, we are wrapping up 2022 to 2023. Is the ministry have short-term, long-term goal for 2023 as we gradually transition into 2023? What would be your focus? What would be your direction for 2023 for the young generation?
Well, we went on our retreat, you remember, in July, and each of us were able to give our plan for, at the time it was 16 months, uh, because the president's vision is that vision that we are all making sure that we can make a reality. And for the Ministry of Youth and Sports, for our 16 months, there were a couple of things we said we achieved within the 16 months, and that runs into 2023. One, we make sure that the Samuel Kayando Sports Complex is fully renovated and acceptable for international games. Though the stadium has not been fully renovated, renovation work still continues, but the stadium has been partially cleared by CAF and FIFA, given the fact that we have Severlion play all her international games at the SKD Sports Complex, both their national team and their local clubs. We also have our local clubs play international games there in CAF competition at the SKD Sports Complex. So we are hoping before that 16 months come, the SKD Sports Complex will be ready. That's part of our 16 months plan. Another plan we have for our 16 months is the construction of the mini hotel at the SKD Sports Complex for our business and domestic education training center. BDOTC is our predominantly girls school. It's one of the most successful vocational school that we run. And within the next 16 months at a time, I think less than 16 months now, but that mini hotel will be constructed. That is our plan. Our another plan is our outreach youth, and they call Zogos. But our 16-month plan to make sure that we work on the rehabilitation center in Johnsonville and Bensonville to transform that center into a rehabilitation center for our outreach youth to begin to take them for in the street. And we are making good progress on that. So those were the things we said we will do within the next 16 months, and we are on track for all three of them I just named.
Okay, Honorable Minister, we allow you to get a glass of water. We are about to get to a conversation that seems to dominate what is happening now, and my analyst is going to be joining me. I am Alfonso Zian, so this is the Liberia Public Radio. Okay, so today our special guest is the Honorable Minister of Youth and Sport, Republic of Liberia, Minister D. Zilka Wilson is here. Our analysts are standing by. We're going to be breaking in. Then, as well, we are about to get to the plane. The tumbling is about to happen, but trust me, the flight will land safely. Let me